People who met on Reddit slid into the DMs and actually formed a romantic relationship IRL. What's your story? Are you still together? Met him on my city's R4R board. He was just coming out of self-imposed dating exile since he had been unemployed for a while. I hadn't been in a serious relationship for some time. Something about his post caught my eye, though I couldn't tell you what exactly. We messaged back and forth for a few days. I was using my alt account for safety, neither of us thinking it was likely to go anywhere, but we hit it off and had our first date that weekend. He pre-inquired about my favorite flavor of breath mint, which I thought was adorable. It turned out I lived about 5 minutes walk from where he worked, and had actually walked past his office in a public building 2 days before we met. We dated for about a year, both really happy, but then he got transferred to another part of the country for work. I drove out with him to help him get set up, and then we flew back so he could wrap up at his previous work location for a few days. Seeing him walk out my door the last day really sucked, because he didn't know if he wanted me to follow him for good, and I wasn't crazy about where he was moving to. Eventually, after a lot of Netflix, Discord dates, he realized he was pretty unhappy without me, and asked me to move with him. Selling my house and leaving a job and all my friends behind was really scary, but I did it. We bought a house together in the new city and I switched careers. 3 years later, we're still very happy together, but I don't like it here, so we're in the process of getting ready to move back to my old side of the country later this year. He proposed a few weeks ago, and we're getting married in a tiny ceremony this summer, somewhere his family has had a summer home for years. I have a lot of doubts about the future, but not about him. He is sweet and supportive and smart and mischievous in equal measures, and I'm glad every day that he posted that ad. She and I met through Reddit because we were both in pretty bad shape and just needed somebody to talk to. We messaged for a bit and found out that we had a lot in common. We would message each other every day pretty much all day for maybe the first week. One of our shared interests was video games. So after that first week, we started playing games together and talking on Discord. We would talk on Discord every day whenever we were both free and stay up super late just learning about each other and telling each other stories from our childhood. She's from Texas and I'm from California, so our time difference is 2 hours. She told me her schedule for that semester of college and I would make sure to wake up early enough to message her at least for a little bit before class. Fast forward about a month and we're both pretty flirty with each other when we're talking. I'm not sure if we were doing it on purpose or if we were even aware of it at the time. I had learned that she had a boyfriend, but she was super unhappy with their relationship, which was why she needed to talk to somebody in the first place. I also learned that he had cheated on her very early on and that she took him back because she was scared he'd kill himself if she didn't. So one night while we were done playing games and just hanging out and talking on Discord, I just asked her point blank if she thought her relationship with her ex was going anywhere. She said that she didn't think so, so I asked if she thought that the two of us had a chance. We've been together for just over a year now. She's graduated college and has a job, and even though she has to be up at 6:30 Central Standard Time every morning for work, I still set an alarm for 4:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time so I can be awake, at least for a few minutes, to talk to her and tell her to have a good day. I've been over there to visit her every month since July last year, and once she's been at her job for 6 months, she can start taking vacation time and visit me. To this day, it's almost surreal to think that I met the girl that I'm certain I want to be a part of my life until I die on Reddit. It's definitely an unconventional way to meet, but I wouldn't change a single detail. He posted NSFW pics. We got to chatting. I started posting. We kept chatting and discording. Gaming. Then we found out we lived 4 hours apart. One weekend my family was going camping and it just so happened to be his town. I went. We met and it was great. A few months after meeting I moved to his city. We've been together 2 years. He posted NSFW pics. So, like, ones where he was on a scissor lift without a harness. Met my husband online. We talked for a few days, found out we lived 30 minutes away from each other. Met one night and we've been together for 10 years. Married 7 years and we have a perfect little boy who turns 1 this weekend. Me. Late August 2018. I made an R4R post looking for a lady to talk to. Those posts remain active for about 24 hours, then they are archived, no longer visible is what the mods said. After doing the shuffle of dating apps, sites during my 20s and having a beautiful kiddo with someone that it didn't work out with, I legitimately was burned out and was going to stop dating for a few years. I made the R4R post as a last-ditch effort. I was completely transparent on my personality, experiences, life, wants, etc. It was cathartic and I truly expected nothing to come of it. Her. Late August 2018. Her same-aged cousin passed tragically. She had received the news on her way home from work on the train. For a mental break, she opened up Reddit and scrolled until she saw an R4R post that piqued her interest. It read about musical tastes, an engineering college student, and the line, "I'm a Jim looking for my Pam." She messaged the poster that he seemed cool, wished him nothing but luck and hoped he was doing great as a dad. Well, folks, I was hooked. She lived in Australia, I was in Chicago. It took lots of 22-hour plane rides, family gatherings, a Batman tattoo on the first date and a ring 5 months after meeting on R4R. My wife and I had to work hard for it and choose us every day. She stuck by me as I got my degree, got married in front of a judge in downtown Chicago with me in my Class A's, and now we live in sunny Australia as she becomes a lawyer. There's an undeniable vulnerability that comes from bonding with someone when all you can use are your words. I shared my deepest secrets, opened myself up to judgment, and all she did was heal me and teach me how to love and be loved again. Along with my son, she is hands down the best thing that has happened to me. If I had to live through all of the shitty times again to get to her, I'd do it. To all those who have found someone here, kudos and congrats. To those who haven't, there's someone out there for you all. Thanks Op for a place to tell my story. I met my first boyfriend here on AskReddit. Started off as random conversation. Then we met up about a 4-hour drive for both of us and it went from there. Eventually, he moved to me, but then we broke up. He still lives near me and I still talk to him daily. I just couldn't live with him. My husband and I met on Star Trek. We started out as friends and formed a really strong bond and will be married 3 years in June. We usually give each other Trek-related gifts for anniversaries, haha. He even proposed to me using a transporter toy from the 90s. Yeah, we are nerds. She made a weird funny comment that also made it apparent we lived in the same city. We chatted for a couple weeks, went on one date, tortoise bowling at a historic 1920s bowling alley. She was cool, but the chemistry we appeared to have online wasn't really there in person. Afterwards she let me know she decided to try dating women instead. I met a cool girl over there. Everything was going well. We planned on meeting in person and everything after a few months of talking for hours every day, but she cancelled on the last minute and left me like an idiot with non-refundable plane tickets. So it's not an experience I'm willing to live again. Met my boyfriend in a clique group in 2017. We were attached to other partners at the time but would joke and tease each other when we were around at the same time. We both split with our partners around the same time. Ended up messaging him so I could keep up with the happy banter. Flirting ensued and we both clicked. I would talk to him for hours upon hours between phone conversations, video chatting, and messaging back and forth. We made plans of taking a mini vacation together to meet and see if he wanted to make the move from California to Ohio. I was willing to move there but he wanted out of Cali. After thinking it over I told him that if he was serious he should just move here. It didn't matter if our actual chemistry in person wasn't there. I knew that we could cohabitate well. He moved in March of 2018 and I had a fairy tale meeting. Instant chemistry. The attraction was there for both of us and we had 7 months of total bliss. Unfortunately I didn't get a lifetime of happiness as he was killed in a trucking accident, but I still believe in love. It's been a little over a year and he taught me what I deserve and how I should be treated in a relationship, and I will be forever thankful for that. She asked for an audio message for her birthday on our Gone Wild audio and I replied. We kept talking and I conned her into moving down here. Been together 3 years. Happiest I've ever been. Met a guy on Reddit when I moved back to my college town and needed help getting my motorcycle out of a rental van. I posted in the local subreddit asking for help, and this guy replied that he was buying a motorcycle ramp that day and he could drop by after. He dropped by with a friend he brought along to help. Turned out that friend was a mutual friend of mine also. After they got the motorcycle out, the three of us went out for drinks, hung out in Old Town, and eventually got pizza at a place that was open really late. Reddit guy dropped me off at home around 4 a.m. I kissed him, and we kinda became inseparable. 3 months later we moved in together. 9 months after that we were married, and less than a month ago we had our first baby. Meeting him was one of the best things, if not the best thing, to ever happen to me. I met my wife of 5 years on our Forever Alone dating. It's actually in my post history.